Hi guys. Welcome back to Alex Beyond Thoughts podcast. I'm so excited. This is finally a filmed episode. So welcome to my uni room. As you can see behind me, you won't be able to see if you're listening on Spotify, but as you can see behind me, I've got photos and cards, my bed, and the door. So that is the amazing view you've got if you're watching this. Hi. So we are into 2023. It is currently mid-January. I haven't filmed an episode in so long, and this is kind of just the reboot of Alex Beyond Thoughts podcast, and I'm so excited just to get into it. So let's dive straight in. A really quick update. I am launching a new masterclass, so I'm really excited about that for anyone that wants to join in. All the details will be in the description and on my Instagram, Alex Beyond Thoughts. You can find me there. But anyway, life is going well. I am in my final year still. I've just started some new classes. So yeah, everything is going to plan. Kind of, it's hard when you're doing a degree. You got to juggle a million things at the same time, but everything so far is going to plan. And I'm really excited about this term and this year and just graduating in general. I'm ready to be done. But okay, this week's episode is going to be all about being the main character in your life. So what I really want to speak to in this episode is like talking on what a main character is, how you can be playing a support role in your own life, and how to stop settling for just being a support role in your own life. And that really is like essentially talking about prioritizing yourself and prioritizing your own well-being, prioritizing your needs, your wants, your dreams. So I really want to just riff on this. And if you're watching me again, I've got some notes to the side so I don't keep rambling and I keep on track. So if you see me reading off to the side, that is why. So firstly, I want you to know that there's a difference between showing up for yourself conditionally and showing up for yourself unconditionally. And that is one of the biggest shifts you can make in 2023 to lead a fulfilling life. So when you can show up for your best friends, you can show up for your family, you can show up for your partner unconditionally. When they need something, you're there. If they ask you for something, you're doing it. If you can show up for someone else that way, why are you not showing up for yourself that way? First question, why are you not doing that? Second question, how can you do that for yourself? One of these things is building self-trust. So you trust yourself to show up for the people you love and show up for the people you care about, show up for your job. You trust yourself because you know those are non-negotiable things. To maintain your relationships with your friends, your family, with your partner, some of these things are non-negotiable. You just do need to be there for the people you care about. But when you are putting other people and their needs and wants before your own, you're making yourself conditional. So if you are, say, helping someone move, if it is at the expense of your health and your time and your projects and your passion that you help this person move across the country, say, and you need to spend 3 days of your time helping them, yes, you love and want to help them, but do you actually need to just take a step back and say, hold on, I honestly think you need to just buy some movers. Like, you just need to get some people to help you move in. Because spending 3 days of your time, if you don't have that time available to put someone else's needs first, you're sacrificing what you should be doing for yourself, whether that's working, whether that's working on your business, whether that's taking care of your mental health, your physical health. If you are prioritizing other people before yourself and you're not meeting yourself with your needs first, you're making your own life conditional to other people. So that is one of the biggest shifts we need to make in 2023 to help be a main character. You need to make your own life, your own needs, your own wants, showing up for yourself unconditional. And a little bit more about that. When you put yourself as a conditional piece in your own life, you're making yourself a support role. You're saying, okay, I can only do something for myself today if everyone else's needs are covered first, be it your kids, your husband, your partner, your mum, your dad, like your best friends, whoever. If you have to show up for them first, so then you can, after that, take time for yourself, you're making yourself a support role in your own life. You are being a support role for everyone else too. And to a certain extent, obviously, a little level of discernment. You do want to support the people you care about. That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about when the only time you can take for yourself is when every other person in your life's needs are met first. That can be emotional needs. So you can't take care of your own emotions until everyone else is okay in your life. And how often does that actually happen? Everyone's human, everyone's going through stuff. If you're never allowing yourself to feel your own emotions because you have to make sure everyone else is okay, you're never going to be able to feel them. I'm a little bit guilty of that sometimes. I'm quite an anchor for the people around me. I always have been. So I do struggle sometimes to actually go, hold on, I don't have the capacity for this right now. You've got to come back to me maybe next week, maybe in a couple of days, maybe in a couple of hours, when I can center myself, put my needs first, put my emotional capacity first. And then once I'm ready to meet you, ready to help, I can let you know then. That's something I do struggle with sometimes with the people very, very closest to me. And I'm guessing a lot of people also struggle with that. But it is putting yourself on the back burner when that's not something that is healthy for you. Yeah, so this means that you say no to the things that cross your boundaries. So with emotional capacity, if someone is starting to dump on you and emotionally dump on you and just give you everything they're feeling at once without any regard for how you're going to be able to receive that, without any regard for whether they even want a response from you, they just want to let everything in their brain out. Sometimes you might feel like, okay, if this person gets it all out, then we can be rational, then we can talk through it. Okay, that's up to you in your relationships. But it is up to you also to put the boundaries in, that when someone is doing that to you and it is draining you and you feel tired, you feel exhausted just listening to them, it is up to you to say, no, this is a boundary. I can't go here with you right now. Maybe take it to another person, maybe take it to a therapist, maybe take it to a coach, someone that can help support you emotionally in this, that doesn't have to have any attachment to you. That is a healthy thing to do. Don't feel like you're doing something wrong by having to put yourself first and your well-being first, because who is looking after you then? You're the only one that can really look after yourself. And the same for your significant others. Like, they are the only ones that can actually look after themselves, and they have to have the ability to do that. And if you're constantly stepping in and processing their emotions for them and controlling when and where they feel their own emotions, you're doing them a disservice, because you're taking away their ability to do that by themselves. And it's something everyone needs to learn to do. And it's not going to be every time that when you come in and offer advice that it's harmful. But if you take a step back, what actual advice are you offering? And do they already know it themselves? Do they just want to sort of let every emotion and thought and rant out, and you just sit there and receive it? So you do have to put those boundaries in place. And when someone crosses your boundaries, you have to also reaffirm, okay, this is not okay. I don't accept that we're going to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. We need to move on to another conversation, or maybe we need to just hang out for a different amount of time. If you're spending a lot of time with someone that's doing this to you, maybe it's a case of, okay, instead of I see this person 3 days a week, maybe I see this person once every fortnight. And you adjust the level that they even have access to cross your boundaries. So when you're doing all of these emotional support and just generally supporting other people constantly, you are doing it at the expense of yourself. Because if you think about how much time and energy you spend propping up the people around you and helping them process what they're going through and being there for them in any capacity they need, how much time are you actually allocating to yourself to be that for yourself? How many times How many hours in the week are you actually supporting yourself? How many hours in the week are you supporting your own growth? How many hours in the week are you actually processing your emotions? Or are you just suppressing it all so that you can still show up and not disappoint other people? And disappointment is scary. Like the thought of having to say to someone, I can't do this with you right now. I don't have the capacity to be here in this way for you right now. You are going to feel like, oh, like I feel like I'm disappointing this person. But if they are someone that loves you and they are someone that cares about you and would like to support you too, then they will have to be understanding at that point, because you have to protect yourself first, and people that love and care about you will eventually understand that, if not immediately. And sometimes you have to disappoint people in order to be happy yourself. And on that as well, like if you're avoiding having these boundaries and avoiding having these conversations of, okay, this is actually not okay for me, not right now, then are you just doing that to be a people pleaser so that you never upset anyone? People pleasing is a very draining, energetically, emotionally, physically draining thing, because you're constantly trying to please other people. You end up not pleasing yourself. Very self-explanatory, but sometimes you just need a reminder of it. If you're pleasing everyone else, you can't make yourself happy at the same time, because you are considering other people above yourself. Sometimes you do have to piss people off in order to be at peace yourself. And if it takes you pissing people off to be at peace, is that not something that you actually want to do, to be at peace? Okay, well then fuck you, sorry, bye. Like it's just not happening. I'm not risking my own sanity, my own peace, my own energy just to make another person happy. And it may seem like the harder route to refuse to please other people, but in the long run, you are only protecting your own energy. You are only protecting your own peace. By protecting your own energy, by protecting your own peace, you can show up for people in a higher capacity. You can access emotions so that you're not just suppressing yourself and only being able to give shit advice. You're going to be able to come from a more grounded place, from a happier place, from a more peaceful, neutral place, that then you can give good advice and you can talk to people on a level that you're not just saying it to get them to shut up. Because that does happen when you're people pleasing and you're listening to things you don't want to listen to. It goes one ear and out the other. You end up giving shit advice. You actually don't care about the outcome because you just want it to be over with. And it's just negative for your relationship, because you begin to resent the person that you're trying to please because you're trying to please them. And continually draining yourself to support others reinforces your being a sidekick to your own life, because you're pleasing everyone else and making yourself suffer as a result of it. We don't really want to be the sidekick bestie or the dutiful partner 99% of our lives. That costs you your own happiness and that costs you your own peace. And that is not the vibe we're taking into 2023. And it's not the vibe for life. Like, it's just not. When you are drained and at an energetic zero, you're not fun to be around. And you might piss people off because you actually start to be happy in your life. You actually start to be more joyful, more playful, more energetic, kinder, more generous. And it might piss some people off because they're still at energetic zero, because maybe they're being a support role in their own life too. And they want someone to drag down into that misery, which maybe used to be you. And they can't sort of take that. They can't take that actually you're turning your life around, you're being happier, you're protecting your peace, you're bringing up your energy levels, you're able to support them actually and not just tell them what they want to hear. And they're annoyed by it. And that's okay, because it's not your problem, it's not your issue, it's not yours to deal with. That is a projection from them onto you. And it doesn't feel safe for them when you are the one that's actually holding safety, actually holding space, actually being supportive. It doesn't feel safe anymore. Let's get on to how to step out of being a support role in your own life. First one, if it feels draining at just the thought of saying yes, then say no. So if immediately someone asks you, can we talk about this? And you're like, oh, yes. That kind of energy, it's a no. Like, you know you know within yourself that that's a no. If someone asks you, oh, can you go to do this thing with me? Can you go to dinner with me next week? Can you postpone the gym and come get a brunch with me? If you're like, oh, I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want to go to that place. I don't want to be around those people. Oh, I really don't want to do that. And your people pleaser comes out and goes, no, you can't say that you don't want to do that. You have to. You have to go. Fuck that. Fuck it right off. It's not happening. Say no. You're allowed to say no in your own life. You have the control to do what you want to do, to talk about what you want to talk about, and to be around who you want to be around. So say no. Say no when things don't benefit you. Reaffirm that it's actually okay to value your own time and needs. And that's in the reverse too. So when someone else feels that they're at capacity, feels like they don't want to hang out with you, feels like they're just not down to skip the gym today and go to brunch, they just want to go to the gym today and get on with the errands for the day, then reaffirm for them, okay, that's fine. It's your time, your needs, you're meeting yourself where you're at and for what you need. Okay, that's completely fine. We'll reschedule when you've got the energy all the time too. It's okay, it works both ways. And you'll find that people respect your time more when you respect your time more and you can respect their time more. There's no expectation to be like, oh, well, I offered you once, so I'm never going to offer you again because you said no to me once. That kind of energy doesn't need to come into your friendships. It's about protecting yourself and your wants and needs. And it's about your friends and your relationships protecting their selves and their wants and needs. And if the people that you are around do actually have a problem with you meeting your needs, maybe then that's a conversation that you need to have on why they feel they need to have an opinion on how you fill yourself up, on how you protect yourself. If they've got a problem with you saying, okay, sorry, that's not going to work for me, maybe there's a conversation there that actually you don't get to control my time and my energy and where I go, what I do. That's not something you get to dictate. It's for me alone to decide. And if I decide to do differently, that's okay. If you decide to do differently, that's okay. And sometimes this means losing friendships, not always. Sometimes this means losing relationships, not always. You can just re-establish how much time you spend with these people, how much energy you give into these friendships. It doesn't mean you go through your fucking contacts list on your phone and go, oh, you're gone, oh, you're gone, oh, you're gone. You can actually just say, maybe I'll only see you once every couple of months. We'll still keep a friendship alive. We'll still be friendly to each other. And when we eventually align and they come to meet you where you're at, you can rekindle that friendship. Let's talk about how to step in to being the main character. So clearly the reverse. If it feels good, say yes. Some things obviously are not going to feel good and you should do them anyway. Sometimes getting up and going in the rain to the gym doesn't feel good, but you should say yes and you should do it anyway. But in terms of being the main character, if you feel like going out dancing, but you feel like doing it sober, you don't want to have alcohol or any other kind of substance, and you decide to go out sober. Don't let anyone convince you that you have to be intoxicated in order to go out and dance. It's not the case. If it feels good to say yes to opportunities that come up, when you're the main character in your life, you're the only one that gets to control what opportunities you take, what opportunities you turn down. And if you want to remain the main character in your life, you've got to make the decisions to take up on the opportunities that are going to further your progression to your next level. If you say no to the things for all the shit reasons, like, no, they'll be mad at me if I spend that money on that. Oh, but I'll have to keep it secret because I won't be able to tell them because they'll judge me. Oh, but I can't post on my stories because people will think I'm weird, or I don't like my voice, or I don't like this. That's not main character energy, guys. It's just not. You've really got to pull it out and say yes when it feels good. Another part of this is scheduling a meeting with yourself every month and dictating a set amount of time to deciding what you want out of this month. You can call this goal setting if you like, but you need to set out a planned view of your month in its entirety and say, okay, this is a busy month. Will I need to focus on rest in between the crazy schedule I've got on this month? Or is it a slow month? Do I need to ramp up on the content I'm creating or the clients I'm booking or scheduling more social outings because I have the time in my schedule to actually be there and be present with my relationships? Are you in a slow month and you need to book those appointments that you've been putting off? Maybe you need to go see the doctor. Maybe you need to get a teeth checked. Maybe you need to go get your skincare done. Maybe you need to redo your nails, your eyebrows, whatever. Is there appointments that you're putting off because you had a busy month the previous month? When you sit down and look at your month as a whole, or even your quarter as a whole, you can really pinpoint where you're going to have less time. Okay, so I know if I'm working a 12-hour shift for this week and then I'm off the next week, okay, let me schedule my appointments for the week that I'm off. Let me make sure I've got a lot of rest time. I meal prep so that I don't have to spend extra time when I'm on shift work doing that thing. So I'm still taking care of myself. I'm still eating well. I'm still getting all the nutrition I need, but it's just prepped a week in advance so I don't have to think about it. These kind of things really bring you back and center you into being the main character in your life. You're taking care of yourself first. You're prioritizing your needs first. You're making sure that your cup gets filled first, because you can't pour into others when yours is virtually empty. And when you do schedule your month sort of in advance and you see where your focus needs to be, you can then prioritize your well-being instead of exhausting yourself fitting everyone else's needs in first. Say you're a parent and your kids have football on this time and gymnastics on this time, and you've got to pick kids up from school here, or your niece and nephews from here, and you're babysitting in that day because you agreed to that 3 months ago and you forgot. Like, when you sit and review what you've actually got on, you can make sure you have time for yourself, specific allocated me time. In my schedule, I have specific hours, and this is very much my masculine structure helping me be in my feminine. I have specific reading time. So I know what book I want to read. Okay, so I schedule 2 hours on a Friday night that I just sit in my bed and I read my book, and it makes me happy and I feel refreshed after it. I feel like I can go do something else after I've like led there and read my book. Or, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to fill your cup, make sure you actually schedule it in. And if your kid has to miss, my final fun thing is dancing more. But I think dancing more is very essential to being the main character in your life, because I think dancing, look at me like about to dance now. I think dancing more really centers you back into your body. I think it brings out the sensual side of you. I think it brings out the flow in you. It really helps you settle into your feminine as well. So if that's something you struggle with, that you're constantly scheduling, you're constantly on a structure, you're constantly bam, 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 like to the minute scheduled, or constantly putting other people in front of you in your time, I think just hitting pause, lock the door if you have to. Like, when you have a shower in the morning and it's your 10 minutes of peace in your day, lock the door, put on the best tune that makes you feel incredible, and just dance. If you can't even be looking at yourself the first few times you do it because you feel awkward, then close your eyes and dance, or turn out the lights and dance. It really doesn't matter. You just need to get that movement in. You need to feel your body. You need to feel inside of your body. Like, you need to be centered so that you're not just operating from outside of your head. You're not being a sidecar. No, you're not being a passenger to your own experience. If you're constantly in the past thinking about what you did do, oh, that was stupid, I did that. Oh, why didn't I take that course? Oh, why didn't I accept that job offer? If you're constantly in the past or constantly in the future, okay, where am I going to do this next? What can I do here? Where can I be there? you're never present. You're never actually in your body. You're just a passive observer to life going on around you. It's not the best way to be. It's very much supporting role in your own life. Be a main character. Center yourself in your body. If you don't want to dance, meditate. If you don't want to meditate, go for a hot girl walk. Just do something to be actively present inside of yourself, not existing in the future of where you could go, not existing in the past of what you have done. Just now, in this moment, I'm here with myself, listening to Harry Styles, listening to Beyonce, listening to Coldplay, and I'm having fun with myself. And it gets to be wholesome, and it gets to be sexual, and it gets to be chill. It gets to be what you want to make it. And the more confidence you're creating for yourself as well. Because when you can be present in your own body, when you can feel comfortable with how your body moves and where your energy is sort of flowing as you do this, and the more central you can be with yourself, just by yourself, the confidence is going to sort of exude in all areas of your life. And dancing really creates this essential, like, me time, even if it's 10 minutes. If it's an hour that you literally just hop on stage, i.e. your bed, you hold the microphone, and you just bust a move. Put on your version of an LBD, a little black dress, whatever that is, a nice cute set, a Skims pajama, whatever it is, an actual little black dress, whatever you want. Have that time dedicated intentionally to yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to be narrating from the sidelines, watching your life go by. How many times in a year do you think, geez, is that a month gone already? Is that 3 months gone already? Is Christmas in a couple of weeks? How has that happened? Because you're being passive to your own life and it's just flying by and you're missing all of it. So stop separating yourself from your actual human experience. Stop supporting other people before you prioritize yourself. Stop putting everyone else's needs and wants before your own. We are being the main character this year. You are the main character in your life. You just need to realize it. And I believe you really will. I think this year is the year of the main character. It's the year of elevation. It's the year of saying yes to everything that is for you and saying no to everything that's not for you. It's the year of being the lucky girl on TikTok, apparently. You have to actively choose to step into being the main character, because the world will beat you into being a support role, because it's better for everyone else when you're supporting them rather than being your own person. And that's the truth of it, to be honest. It's ingrained in us to constantly put others first and to burn ourselves out at this point. We're not doing it anymore. You are the main character. We are the main characters in our lives. And I love this for us. So that is this episode. I'm very excited. It is the first filmed podcast. I think it's going to be on YouTube, provided it actually uploads. I filmed something earlier and it didn't upload, so fingers crossed. If you're just listening to this in your ears, then thank you so much for listening. We are on Anchor, we are on Spotify. I'm trying to get on Apple Podcasts. It's going to happen. I'll see you there. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.